outside Nigeria, one sad day in history will remain indelible in the hearts of all Americans and the entire world. That day is September 11, 2001. On that day, not just America, but the entire world saw what could be described as the most devastating terror attacks happen in the United States. We have a report that looks back at that day in history. After that, we'll have business news with Sarah Ayeko.
September 11, 2001 is a sad day in America's history as well as world history. The world witnessed highly devastating terror attacks that caused great sorrow, tears and tension globally. There were 2,750 people killed in New York and 184 at the Pentagon, 40 in Pennsylvania. 20 years after, the questions, rage and anger linger. On that sad day, 19 Al-Qaeda militants hijacked 4 aeroplanes and carried out suicide attacks aimed at U.S. targets, which resulted in a death toll of over 3,000 people. 2 of the hijacked planes belonged to United and American Airlines. Both were deliberately crashed into the New York World Trade Center's Twin Towers, while a third plane was flown into the military Pentagon building, close to Washington, D.C.
The FBI is looking into reports that
Let's now take a look at the pain-soaked timeline of events on that dark day in history. At exactly 8:45 a.m. on a regular Tuesday morning, the first Boeing 767, filled with 20,000 gallons of jet fuel, crashed into the North Tower. The impact, which immediately killed hundreds, was so vast that it left a burning hole close to the 80th floor of the skyscraper, trapping everyone who was working at that moment on the top 20 floors. At first, many thought the crash was a tragic accident and an orderly evacuation of both towers began. 18 minutes later, a second Boeing 767 from United Airlines headed directly towards the World Trade Center's South Tower and crashed seconds later on the 60th floor of the building. About 42 minutes after, another flight suspiciously circled the skies of downtown Washington, D.C. before crashing into the west side of the famous Pentagon building, a global symbol of the U.S. military, at 9:45 a.m. The impact of the crash resulted in the collapse of part of the steel and concrete building. In a matter of just 15 minutes after the Pentagon was struck, the horror in New York became chaotic as the South Tower of the World Trade Center, built to withstand nearly every natural hazard, could not cope with the heat of the burning fuel and collapsed in a cloud of dust and smoke. As this was going on, a fourth plane, which was a United Airlines flight, was hijacked mid-air 40 minutes after its takeoff in New Jersey. Passengers on board knew about the events unfolding in New York due to a delay in their flight. And when the hijackers announced the plane was not going to land in an airport, and the people knowing what was about to happen, they immediately planned an insurrection to stop the terrorists. The passengers fought the 4 Al-Qaeda militants, managing to force the plane to hit the ground at a speed of 500 miles per hour in a rural field near Shanksville in West Pennsylvania at exactly 10 minutes past 10 a.m. They couldn't save their lives from their tragic fate, but they succeeded in saving the lives of many others, and they are today rightly remembered as heroes. The September 11, 2001 attack in the United States has globally changed the definition of security. Now governments know that security is not just an ordinary word, but a word that must be action-packed. Jacqueline Ogo, TVC News, Lagos.